Hi there, everyone, and welcome to your Date with Destiny. I am your host, Mighty Mr. Mustache, the mightiest mustache in the universe. Over the course of these videos, I'll be exploring the lore of our favorite game, digging deep into both the known facts and the rumor and myth that can be found in the Grimoire. As we get to grips with the deeper story behind the light and dark, and all of the characters, you can enjoy some footage of me and my clan playing through the game's content. If you'd like to join us in our fun, feel free to contact us at the link below on PlayStation 4 and apply to join our clan, House Stormwing. You can also subscribe to my channel and, of course, slap a like on this video and help a fellow gamer out. You might ask, why would you bother to explore the background and lore of a video game? It's just a game after all, and its background is just some made-up stuff from a game developer. That certainly is true, but we can still appreciate and discuss what we love and enjoy in the game. Its story is deep, it's well told, and even the parts that are only hinted at are great fuel for thought. If you love sci-fi and fantasy stories, the Grimoire of Destiny will keep you enthralled for far longer than even the gameplay does. This is nerd fuel at its most refined. So let's explore and dig deep into the story behind Destiny. This being the beginning of this video series, it seems appropriate that we start from the beginning. The conflict that makes up the core of the game does not begin with the character you play, not even with the main groups when you play it. The light and dark have been fighting for maybe billions of years, across the universe, and even across time itself. What we know for certain is that sometime between the Big Bang and now, two major factions arose in the universe, and have been fighting for dominance ever since. They are known to us as the light and the darkness. As cliche as that sounds, it's just a general name for two opposing philosophies, two dogmas fighting to control the universe. Neither is good, and neither is evil, at least not in the way we think of good and evil. They want what they want, and for what they think are the right reasons. We also know that not every race marches to their tune, even among the races we face in the game. Entire worlds, entire species have risen and fallen under their banners, and many have been left behind, or gone completely extinct. We know of powerful spacefaring races who are not connected to either side, at least don't appear to be, and a good example would be the Cabal Empire. There is no single entity that is the light, at least as far as we know. While we have the enigmatic Traveler who brought humanity into the light, we don't really know if the Traveler is the highest entity on that side. We only know that it came to us, along with uncounted other races, as it traveled the universe. The darkness is also not led by one single entity that we know of, but it seems to be directed by the Ahamkara, great immortal dragons that live out in space. The story of their connection to the darkness is told in the Books of Sorrow, and give us a view into the philosophy of the Ahamkara, and maybe also the darkness. Unlike the light, we have a clear and well-defined philosophy behind the darkness, assuming that the Books of Sorrow can be counted as true. I'll get into the whole concept behind the darkness and its motivations in another video, but it's enough to say that we know what they're all about, or most of it anyway. The light is more enigmatic. We know of only two entities that represent the light, the Traveler and the Leviathan. The Leviathan is mentioned in the Books of Sorrow, and it counsels the creatures who meet it to strive always to grow and evolve into better mortal beings, to build civilizations dedicated to bettering society as a whole. It also counsels being content with being mortal, living your life and dying when it is your time. The side of the light seems to be the prime factor behind laws and morality. So far, though, we've not been told what the light wants, or what its endgame is. Aside from the story of humanity and its dealings with the Traveler, we only know that the light seems to influence its allies in a subtle way, not becoming directly involved and leaving when the darkness arrives. To be fair, we really only know about this from two examples, and we only know that the Traveler was involved in both. It could be that elsewhere in the universe, great forces of the light are standing and facing the darkness in a pitched battle. Our struggle may only be a tiny, insignificant fragment of a greater whole. We will get more into some of these theories later. It's enough to know for now that our part begins when the Traveler arrives in our solar system and starts helping us to expand and evolve. We enter a golden age of humanity, but you know this if you play the game, expanding our colonies to most of the planets in our system, and seeing many other great boons that come with the traveler's arrival. Humans' natural lifespan reaches into centuries. Disease is eliminated. All the great stuff that happens when some beneficial entity shows up from outer space. We get great technology and we grow exponentially, almost overnight. How the traveler makes this possible is not explained, but the changes do happen fast, and all of them seem to be for the better. There are hints at nanotechnology, and an understanding of physics far beyond what we could ever achieve on our own. The traveler may have altered human DNA, or simply provided the literal blueprints for machines that would forge new materials and advanced infrastructure, or maybe both. We simply don't know. We do know that contacting us as directly as it did was out of character. It had always influenced races in subtle ways, avoiding direct contact. What is never truly explained is why. Why did the traveler come? And what motive does the light have for granting races such miraculous gifts? And why did it come to us, humanity, in such a direct way? That could just be because it makes a good game, but it's nice to think of why. There are many thoughts and theories put forward by characters in the game, and of course by players on forums and comments sections all over the net. I, of course, have my own personal theory, and here it is. I think that the Traveler is a probe, a forward scout for the light. It is perhaps a hyper-intelligent AI construct that would explain its behavior. It travels the galaxy, quietly promoting the advancement of races it encounters, seeing if they adapt to the light and build a better and stronger society, one that could be brought into the fight against the darkness. As a forward scout, it isn't supposed to stay and fight when the darkness tracks it down. All of the races it has encountered have either found the strength to fight off the darkness, or they've joined the darkness and left the light behind, or they've been driven to extinction, or at least the destruction of their society, kind of like the Fallen. There may be a huge, universe-spanning empire of the light, and we may be just stumbling along, potential new members if we could find our way through the night. I'm not sure what the Traveler saw in us that convinced it to approach so openly, or why it stayed to fight against the darkness, if indeed it stayed of its own free will. There is evidence to hold that it was deliberately damaged by Earth's defenses to prevent it from abandoning us, but we'll get deeper into that in a video on the Traveler. The darkness is less subtle and better understood. It's true that we don't know if the Ahamkara are the top tier of the darkness, or even if they are the darkness, but we do have accounts of the Books of Sorrow to tell us why they are our enemies, and why their allies are so driven to destroy us. It's very simple. They want us dead. All of us. All life in the universe, dead. They perceive life and its evolution as the single greatest threat to their immortality. And they are, indeed, immortal. They will live as long as the universe exists, unless something destroys them. And it is their point of view that we short-lived mortals in our desperate struggle to advance and achieve is draining the energy that keeps the universe going, moving it inexorably towards its eventual decay and collapse. To us, that seems only natural, a thing to be studied and pondered, but still billions of years into an uncertain future, and not our concern here in the present. To the great dragons, it is a looming doom that they will take any steps to avoid, a fate that contradicts their sword logic. Sword logic is their philosophy. It's their basic instinct. It's everything about them. And at its base, it is this. The purpose of existence is to exist. Nothing is bad or evil or wrong if doing it means you get to keep existing. Are they evil? Well, that depends on your point of view. Is a tiger evil if it eats another animal to survive? The tiger certainly doesn't think so. So in the end, what are the dark and the light really? It could be as simple as the electromagnetic spectrum at odds with dark matter and dark energy. On a level that humanity is too primitive to understand, they may be sentient things, eternally at odds, one side drawing on all around it to advance and build and reproduce, while the other side simply wants to remain static and eternal. We don't know, and we may never know for certain, but it is fun to speculate. So that's the basic story behind Destiny. Light and dark locked in an ancient struggle, and our part in it at the forefront of the game, while the Grimoire tells the story. Over the course of these short videos, we will together build theories and ideas about the parts that the Grimoire only hints at. Feel free to disagree with my theories, and if you're polite about it, I might even respond. I have been your host, Mighty Mr. Mustache, and I'll catch you next time. Have a great day.